When you think of only yourself, your pain, your failures, your unmet desires, life can begin to feel unbearably heavy. Isolation, of course, magnifies wounds. Silence echoes lies. And in the loneliest corners of your mind, the thought creeps in. Maybe it would be easier to end it all. Suicide. But something changes the moment you shift your gaze. When you stop asking, what's the point of me? And start asking, who needs me? Everything shifts because greatness doesn't begin with applause. It begins with a burden, a sense that your life is not random, that someone somewhere is waiting on your obedience to their breakthrough. This is what great people understand. They do not live solely for themselves. They carry the awareness that they have been entrusted with gifts, ideas, voices, and visions for the sake of others, and that knowing becomes their fuel. Their sense of quiet entitlement doesn't come from pride, it comes from purpose. Think of Trevor Noah. Raised in apartheid Africa by a black mother and a white father, his very existence was considered illegal. It could have been swallowed by shame, poverty, and racial injustice, but he understood that his voice, sharpened by pain and humor, was meant for more. He felt entitled to global stages, not because he was seeking validation, but because he had something to say that could heal, provoke, and uplift. Or Malala Yousafzai, who was shot for wanting an education. At 15, she had every reason to retreat into bitterness of fear, but she emerged with a fire, saying boldly that girls everywhere deserved the right to learn. That entitlement wasn't born for entitlement in the common sense, it was born from divine injustice. She saw herself not as a victim, but as a vessel. Even Nelson Mandela, after 27 years in prison, didn't seek revenge. He believed South Africa deserved reconciliation, peace, healing. He could have made it about himself, but greatness is always bigger than ego. It always looks outward. Here in Nigeria, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, born in a time and place where the odds were stacked against her, where being a woman in leadership wasn't the norm, she didn't just fight to have a seat at the table. She believed she belonged there, that her voice could shape economies and her ideas could lift nations. Her entitlement wasn't arrogance, it was purpose. She expected access because she had solutions. And when the world gave her a platform, she used it not just to rise, but to lift others. Consider Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, whose storytelling has reshaped global perspectives in African identity, feminism, and history. She didn't wait for validation from the West. She wrote with the conviction that her voice already mattered, that stories of her people already deserved to be told. Or take Tony Elumelu. He didn't just dream of success, he believed Africa's entrepreneurs deserved to be empowered. That belief birthed the Tony Elumelu Foundation, funding, you know, aiding funding, mentoring, and launching thousands of businesses across the continent. That's not just greatness, that's vision backed by the conviction that blessing others is not optional, it is expected. You see, truly great people understand something many do not. That to be great is to be responsible. They carry an internal compass that says, if I have been given much, then much is required of me. So they walk into rooms expecting favor, not to consume it, but to channel it. They demand results not for applause, but for impact. They speak boldly, not to echo noise, but to birth change. They know they were born to bless. That's their entitlement. And it is not pride, it is assignment. So maybe the question isn't whether you are allowed to believe for more. Maybe it is this: are you willing to carry the weight that comes with it? Because the greatness you feel tugging at you, it is not wishful thinking, it is a divine nudge, an invitation to step up, speak out, build something that outlives you and bless lives in the process.